Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that money is not running from you? It's waiting for your command. One sentence, spoken once with faith, can shift your financial future forever. Today, I will reveal how repeating only once unlocks guaranteed abundance. This is not luck, it's law. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear has the power to break poverty forever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And in the comments, write one word, money, along with your city name. Also, subscribe to my other channel. The link is in the bio. Money is not only influenced by markets, jobs, or business opportunities. It is influenced by words. Words are not empty sounds. They are containers of power. Every breakthrough, every invention, every business, every financial system began first as a spoken word. The universe itself was framed by words. If words could call light out of darkness, then surely words can call money into your life. When you open your mouth and speak, you release vibrations into the atmosphere. Those vibrations are not meaningless. They carry intention, direction, and energy. Science itself agrees. Studies in neurolinguistics and psychology show that the words you speak reprogram the pathways of your brain. When you declare wealth, you train your mind to see opportunities, align your actions with prosperity, and attract connections that money flows through. Your words literally shift your reality. Think about it. When you say, "I am broke," you close doors. You reinforce your limitation, and your subconscious begins to act in harmony with that declaration. But when you say, "I walk in abundance," something shifts. Suddenly, you notice possibilities that were always there but hidden behind the fog of negative speech. The same world looks different because your words rearrange your perception, and perception creates reality. Consider a story. A young man once struggled with poverty every day. He complained about his situation, saying, "Nothing ever works for me. I'll never get ahead." And indeed, nothing worked. But one day, he heard a teaching that words create destiny. He decided to change his speech. Instead of speaking failure, he declared, "Money comes to me easily. Opportunities find me. I am not chasing wealth. Wealth is drawn to me." At first, it felt unnatural, but after only a few weeks, something shifted. He got a call for a job he never even applied for. A friend offered him a small business idea, and he began to see results. What changed? Not the world. His words changed him. And in return, the world responded. This is not superstition. It is principle. Financial success is not only about working harder, but speaking wiser. Yes, hard work matters, but words determine the atmosphere in which your work either flourishes or fails. Two people can start the same business with the same resources. One speaks lack, and the other speaks abundance. The one who believes and declares abundance will see different results because faith-filled words attract favor. Think also about how people with influence use their words. When a successful entrepreneur is interviewed, they often say, "I always knew I'd make it. I spoke it, I lived it, I believed it." That is no accident. They set a financial atmosphere around their lives by speaking their destiny. And if they, without necessarily knowing God's spiritual laws, can speak themselves into wealth, imagine the authority you carry when you align your words with divine principles. Words are seeds. Every time you speak, you are sowing into your future. A farmer doesn't put a seed in the ground and expect nothing. He expects a harvest. In the same way, your words are planting seeds of either wealth or poverty. If you constantly say, "Money never stays with me," you are planting poverty seeds. But if you say, "Money comes, money stays, and money multiplies in my hands," you are planting wealth seeds. The harvest may not come in a single day, but it must come, because words are laws in motion. Even in Scripture, words and wealth are tied together. Declarations of blessing, promises of provision, and confessions of faith are all spoken before they are experienced. Abraham was told he would be the father of many nations, before he even saw one child. He had to call things that were not as though they were. That principle still applies today. When you speak wealth, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning yourself with divine truth that provision already exists for you. Now let me make this personal for you. Every time you open your mouth, ask yourself, am I speaking life into my finances or death? Your tongue is a steering wheel. It sets the course. If your speech is negative, you are driving your financial destiny into a ditch. But if your speech is faith-filled, you are steering toward prosperity. Do not underestimate a single sentence. One sentence, spoken with conviction, can unlock doors that years of complaining kept shut. So here is the principle. Your words are your currency before money even arrives. Speak like a wealthy person before the wealth manifests, because words will always precede manifestation. You cannot wait until money comes to speak prosperity. You must speak prosperity so that money comes. There is a deep truth many people miss when it comes to attracting wealth or any breakthrough in life. You don't need to say something 1,000 times to make it real. One declaration spoken in faith is enough. Repetition without conviction is powerless. But one word released with absolute belief shakes heaven and earth. Think of a legal system. When a judge makes a ruling, he doesn't repeat it 50 times. He declares it once, and it is recorded as law. His authority gives weight to his words. The same principle works spiritually. When you declare with full conviction, heaven records it, and the forces of the universe align to make it manifest. It is not about the number of times you say it. It's about the authority with which you release it. This is where most people miss their breakthrough. They keep repeating affirmations, but their repetition comes from doubt, not faith. They're trying to convince themselves rather than command reality. If your words are full of fear, no amount of repetition can change your life. But if your words are full of belief, one declaration will alter everything. Picture a farmer planting seeds. Does he keep planting the same seed in the same spot day after day? Number, he plants it once and then waters it with expectation. He trusts the process. Speaking of faith, filled declaration is like planting that seed. Repeating it again and again in doubt is like digging it up. To check if it's growing, that seed will never flourish. If it is constantly uprooted, your one declaration must be planted in faith and then left to manifest with trust. Let's bring this closer to finances. Many people say, I want money. I need money, please. Money come to me. They say it day after day, but nothing changes. Why? Because those words are rooted in desperation, not authority. They're begging, not declaring. But when someone shifts from begging to authority and says with conviction, money comes to me now. I am a magnet for financial abundance. Opportunities flow to me without struggle. And they say it once with unshakable faith. Everything begins to align. Consider the story of a woman who was drowning in debt. She had tried affirmations, vision boards, even long prayers, but her heart was still full of fear. Then one day, she shifted. She stood in her living room and declared, this debt is no longer my identity. Money flows into my life, and I walk free from financial chains. She said it once, but she meant it that week. She received an unexpected business opportunity that allowed her to clear half of her debt within months. Her breakthrough didn't come from saying the right words thousands of times. It came from saying them once with power and conviction. Faith is not about volume, it's about substance. Imagine striking a match. You don't need to strike it 100 times to produce fire. One strike, done right, releases the flame. Words work the same way. When aligned with faith, one declaration is a spark that ignites your financial future. This is why it's so important to shift from repetition to revelation. Repetition is mindless. It's just saying words. Revelation is when your spirit catches fire with belief. Once you see it inside, you don't need to keep repeating it outside. One word becomes enough because you already know it's done. Even in Scripture, some of the greatest miracles came from a single declaration. When Jesus stood at the tomb of Lazarus, he didn't shout over and over, "Come out, come out, come out." He said it once, "Lazarus, come forth." And a dead man rose. That's authority. That's conviction. That's the power of one declaration. Now apply this to your financial life. The day you speak with true belief is the day things begin to shift. You don't need to declare abundance every hour. You need to declare it once with faith. Then live as though it is already true. Your actions, mindset, and energy begin to align with your words, and the world responds. Think of it like a key. A key doesn't need to be turned endlessly in the lock. One turn is enough. If it's the right key, your words are that key. And when you turn them once in faith, the door opens. So here's the challenge. Stop trying to convince the universe by repeating empty phrases. Stop exhausting yourself with endless affirmations that don't come from conviction. Instead, speak one clear, faith-filled declaration over your finances. Plant the seed once, water it with gratitude, and trust the harvest. One declaration is enough when it carries the weight of belief. Before money can flow into your hands, it must first flow into your mind. Every financial breakthrough begins with a mental breakthrough. Poverty is not only the absence of money, it is the presence of limiting beliefs. A person can lose all their money and still rebuild wealth if their mindset is abundant. But someone can win the lottery, inherit millions, or get a high-paying job and still end up broke if their mindset is trapped in poverty. Money follows the mind. Poverty blocks are invisible barriers. They whisper thoughts like, "I will never have enough," or "money is too hard to get," or "people like me don't get rich." These are not harmless phrases. They are mental chains. And chains in the mind will always show up as chains in your bank account. If you want to experience financial freedom, you must first confront and break these mental poverty blocks. Think of someone who grew up in lack. They might have heard their parents constantly saying, "Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy." Without realizing it, those words planted seeds of limitation. When that person grows older, even if opportunities come, their subconscious mind resists abundance. They sabotage their own success because deep down they believe wealth is not for them. This is why many people work tirelessly but never escape financial struggle. It's not that they don't work hard. It's that their inner dialogue is fighting against their outer effort. If your mind is programmed for lack, no salary increase, no business deal, no side hustle will ever feel enough. Poverty blocks will swallow every increase until you decide to break them. So how do you break these blocks? The first step is awareness. You must identify the lies you've believed about money. Do you believe money is evil? Do you believe wealth is reserved for others but not you? Do you believe financial freedom is impossible in your lifetime? These thoughts are not truth. They are programs. And like any program, they can be deleted and replaced. The second step is reprogramming. Once you recognize the lies, you replace them with truth. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never have enough," you declare, "I am always provided for, and resources flow to me in abundance." Instead of saying, "Money is evil," you affirm, "Money is a tool for good in my hands. It amplifies my purpose." This mental shift is crucial. Until you see money as a servant and a blessing, you will subconsciously push it away. The third step is action. Your new mindset must shape your behavior. A poverty mindset clings to money in fear or wastes it carelessly. An abundance mindset multiplies money with wisdom. If you start believing wealth belongs to you, you will naturally start saving, investing, and creating. You'll see opportunities where others see obstacles. You'll act like a steward of abundance, not a prisoner of lack. Let me share a powerful story. A man once lived paycheck to paycheck for years. No matter how much he earned, it disappeared. He believed he was cursed with bad luck. One day, a mentor asked him a question. "What do you really believe about money?" The man admitted. He thought money was dangerous, that having more of it would make him selfish or cause people to hate him. The mentor replied, "That's your poverty block. Until you change that belief, you will always stay stuck." The man began reprogramming his thoughts. He started declaring, "Money is a tool for impact. The more I have, the more good I can do." Slowly, his habits changed. He began budgeting, investing, and seeking opportunities. Within 5 years, he built a business that gave him financial freedom. His wealth didn't come from luck. It came from breaking his mental poverty block. Now, let's bring this home. What are the beliefs in your own mind that are blocking money from flowing freely? Do you find yourself saying, "I can't afford it," more than, "How can I afford it?" Do you secretly feel unworthy of wealth? Do you judge rich people while wishing for riches? These are signs of poverty blocks. They must be exposed and destroyed, or they will quietly sabotage your financial destiny. Understand this: wealth is not created outside of you first. It is created inside of you. You can only attract what your mind is prepared to hold. If you believe small, you will live small. If you believe abundance is your portion, money will find ways to flow into your hands. Breaking poverty blocks is not just about changing your language. It's about changing your identity. You must stop seeing yourself as someone trapped by lack and start seeing yourself as someone trusted with abundance. Speak it, believe it, act like it, and your external reality will catch up with your internal vision. The truth is, you are not poor because money has avoided you. You are poor if you've believed money is not for you. Break that belief today. Declare with confidence, "I release every poverty block. Abundance belongs to me. I think abundance. I speak abundance. I live abundance." When your mind accepts this truth, money will no longer resist you. It will be drawn to you, because wealth always flows toward those who expect it. One of the most powerful truths about life and wealth is this: what you agree with on earth. Heaven agrees with too. There is a divine law of alignment that connects your words, your faith, and your reality. The moment your mouth and your spirit come into agreement with heaven's promises, doors open that money alone could never buy. This is what I call the law of agreement between heaven and earth. It's not superstition. It's not luck. It's a principle woven into the fabric of creation. The scripture says, "Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." This means heaven responds to your declarations. When you speak in alignment with God's will, you activate heavenly resources to work in your favor. But here's the key. Heaven doesn't respond to empty words. Heaven responds to agreement. When you declare wealth, provision, and abundance with true belief, you are not just saying words, you are signing a spiritual contract. It's like heaven takes your declaration, stamps it with approval, and begins to release the resources, opportunities, and connections necessary to manifest it on earth. Think of it this way. On earth, two people sign a contract when they want to seal an agreement. Once both parties sign, the deal is binding. In the spiritual realm, the moment your mouth declares abundance in faith and heaven says yes to it, the agreement is sealed. Money, opportunities, favor. They begin moving toward you because the contract has been signed. But what happens when you speak the opposite? If you constantly declare lack, fear, and struggle, you are also making an agreement, but not with heaven. You are agreeing with limitation, and the same law applies. What you bind on earth in negativity will reflect in your reality. That is why it is so important to be intentional with your words. Every word is a contract. and you must decide whether you want to sign with poverty or with abundance. Let me give you an example. A man once shared his story of breakthrough. For years, he worked hard, but never saw results. He always said, "I'll never get out of debt. I'm stuck in this forever." And that's exactly how his life looked. Then one day, he heard about the power of agreement. He realized he had been signing contracts with poverty every time he spoke negatively. So he shifted. He declared, "I agree with heaven's promise of provision. I declare I am debt. Free money comes to me for every need." At first, nothing seemed to change. But within months, unexpected streams of income opened up. Debts that seemed impossible to clear were suddenly lifted. What changed? His agreement. He canceled his contract with lack and signed a new one with abundance. The law of agreement also explains why community is powerful. When two or more people come together and declare the same thing, their collective agreement multiplies the effect. This is why speaking abundance in community, writing it down, or even declaring it in the comments of a video carries power. You are not just saying words into the air. You are joining forces with others and with heaven itself. Here's something important. Agreement requires consistency. You can't agree with abundance today and then speak poverty tomorrow. Imagine signing a contract one day and tearing it up the next. The deal will never hold. Your words must align with heaven's truth consistently for the flow of resources to continue. That's why daily declarations, gratitude, and affirmations of abundance are so critical. They keep your agreement active and unbroken. Think about the life of successful people. Even those who do not know this principle consciously often live it. They speak confidently about their future. They declare success. They visualize abundance. Without even knowing it, they are aligning their words with universal laws. How much more powerful is it when you consciously align your words with heaven's promises? That is when breakthroughs become inevitable. No, let's make this practical. Right now, what agreements have you made with your words? Have you signed with scarcity by constantly saying, "I can't afford this"? Have you signed with fear by declaring, "Money never stays with me"? Or have you signed with heaven by saying, "I walk in provision, I live in overflow. Money is attracted to me"? Your life right now is a reflection of your contracts. If you don't like the agreement you've made, tear it up with a new declaration today. Say this: "I agree with heaven that abundance is mine. I agree with heaven that money flows into my life. I agree with heaven that I am free from lack." That one agreement shifts everything. Because once heaven and earth are aligned, nothing can stop the manifestation of your declaration. Remember, wealth is not only about effort, it is about alignment. Hard work opens doors, but agreement with heaven keeps them open. If you align your speech, your faith, and your actions with the promises of provision, you will live in abundance. The law of agreement guarantees it when we talk about attracting money or calling abundance into our lives. There is a hidden force that works silently yet powerfully: expectation. Expectation is more than hope. Hope says, "I wish it could happen." Expectation says, "It's already mine. It's on the way." That mindset shift is what separates people who talk about prosperity from those who actually walk in it. Think about it this way. When you place an order online, you don't sit around worrying if the package will arrive. You expect it. You check your phone for delivery updates. You make space in your house for it. You live in anticipation of its arrival. That's the posture you must carry when you speak a declaration of abundance once. You don't keep repeating it in fear. You expect it as if the universe, or God Himself, has already scheduled its delivery to your life. Expectation creates an energetic alignment between your words and your reality. Countless studies in psychology have shown that what you expect often becomes what you experience. For example, in education, the Pygmalion effect demonstrates that students who are expected to succeed by their teachers tend to perform better. Why? Because expectation influences behavior, and behavior influences outcomes. The same principle applies to money. If you expect to live broke, every action unconsciously supports that outcome. But if you expect financial flow, your choices, opportunities, and energy begin to align with that reality. Let's pause here and reflect. How many times have you spoken positive words about money, but deep inside you doubted if they would work? That's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it's growing. Seeds don't grow under constant disturbance. They grow when you plant them, water them, and expect them to break the soil in due time. Your financial seed works the same way. One powerful story that illustrates this is that of J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before she became one of the wealthiest women in the world, she was a struggling single mother living on welfare. But she held on to one unwavering expectation. Her writing would one day change her life. She didn't just hope. She expected success. She carried that certainty even when publishers rejected her manuscript over and over again. Eventually, her expectation manifested into reality. And today, her work has generated billions. Expectation made her unstoppable. Now, let's bring this closer to your financial life. Expectation is practical. It shows up in your decisions. When you expect money to come, you don't speak words of lack like, "I can't afford this. I'll always be broke." Instead, you begin to declare, "Provision is coming. Opportunities are on their way. My needs will be supplied." That expectation changes how you treat money, how you treat yourself, and how others respond to you. Expectation also eliminates desperation. People who lack expectation beg, chase, and panic over finances. But those who carry expectation attract opportunities because confidence is magnetic. Imagine walking into a job interview, expecting rejection versus walking in expecting favor. Your tone, your energy, your body language, everything changes. That's why wealthy people often seem relaxed even before the money comes. Their expectation is set. Another key truth: expectation fuels gratitude. When you truly expect abundance, you begin to thank God or the universe in advance. You express gratitude not only for what you see, but also for what you know is on the way. This gratitude creates joy, and joy raises your frequency, making you more receptive to wealth. That's why many spiritual traditions encourage Thanksgiving as a daily habit. It keeps your heart open for receiving. So, here's your challenge. After you speak your declaration once, walk as if it's already settled. Don't check your financial soil every day in doubt. Don't cancel your words by complaining about what you don't have. Expectation is the invisible proof of faith. It's the bridge between your declaration and your manifestation. Ask yourself today, am I living with an expectation of poverty or prosperity? Do my words, actions, and mindset show that I expect increase? Because life will always give you what you truly expect now that you've walked through these principles. Let me remind you of something powerful. One declaration, spoken with faith, can shift the course of your financial future. You don't have to keep begging for money. You don't have to chase wealth with fear. You have to agree with heaven, break the blocks in your mind, and speak your destiny into existence. But here's the truth. You cannot just hear this message and walk away unchanged. Right now is your moment to act. Words without action fade into the air, but words spoken, written, and sealed in agreement have power that continues long after you say them. That's why I want you to do something bold today in the comments below. I want you to write this: I have declared, and money will come. Those words are not just a sentence. They are your contract. They are your public declaration that you have spoken once with faith and that heaven has recorded it. When you write those words, you are sealing your agreement with abundance. You are declaring to your future that you are ready to receive. And if this message has stirred something inside of you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone you love. There are people in your circle right now who are struggling financially, trapped by poverty blocks, and weighed down by fear. They need this truth as much as you did. By sharing, you're not just spreading information, you're spreading transformation. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. Why? Because this is not a one-time journey. Abundance is a lifestyle. And in my upcoming videos, I'll take you even deeper, showing you how to multiply what has already started flowing, how to manage it with wisdom, and how to make money serve your purpose instead of controlling your life. So before you click away, pause and declare your agreement. Speak it, write it, and believe it. I have declared, and money will come. That's your seed today. And just like a seed planted in good ground, the harvest is guaranteed. Your future is already shifting. Your declaration has been heard. Money will come because you have spoken it once with faith, and heaven has agreed.